say you're pushing in all your feed with the Juno, is that correct?
Yeah, Juno goes, I think it's 7 or 8 times a day. Every base, not quite, but nearly every 2 hours or 2.5 hours. It'll go and follow the same route. What it'll do is it's preset for does a meter, it uses its top, whatever, ultrasounds to pick off the top of the feed rail, and it'll do 1.5 meters out, on the way up, and when it comes back down, it's 1 meter in. And then it'll go around and do the other side, 1.5 meters and a meter on the way back down. The whole run takes 40 minutes every time. And I guess between the buzzer, you can alter the noise of the buzzer and all. The buzzer, the cows know it's coming, and you'd notice it here. Now I know they're freshly fed, but at 1 o'clock when the feed got put in, probably went from 10 heads out to 30 heads out the minute he starts to move.
Okay.
They know it's coming. They know it's going to happen.
Okay.
And it just constantly, it's pushing, I guess, bringing back what they pushed away, but it's just even that small maybe rotation and finding something new for them. And because it's a really well with the Kennan Feeder with the knives, it's so well chopped that there's no real sorting in it.
And so how does it handle, say, zero grazed grass then?
Not an issue. What we do for zero grazed grass, the zero grazed grass comes in at 10 in the morning, it's in by half 9 or so. It's all here, 2 or 3 loads. And instead of doing meter or 1.5 meter runs, it does 2 meter pushes, and then 1.5 meters down, and then after lunch it goes in a little bit further. So I just have it working further out to start with. But the new Juno, the Lely, has what's called dynamic push. So if there's a lump of grass that hasn't been sorted left well, it'll hit it and it'll go around it. It doesn't fight it. Okay. Like, it doesn't go into it. But we were staggered how effective it is at fresh grass. Unbelievable. There could be a wedge 1.5 meters, 2 meters out of fresh grass there, and it'll just tighten it up, and it'll push stuff that you'd never even imagine pushing. I think there's a 600 or 700 kilo weight in the middle of that guy, 2 big electric motors and a little stabilizer wheel. It's a fairly simple bit of kit, but there's a chip in there that is the brains, which is the clever part, Jim.
Okay. So saves you a lot of time.
Absolutely. When we first set this up, the shed, this guy hadn't even, I think we were the first in the south, might have been the first in the country to install it. So getting it installed and getting fitters in the UK and all that was fun. So it took a bit of time to get up and running with it. And therefore we rigged up with a RSJ and a few box iron, a thing for front of the loader. And it was all right. You're pushing 3 or 4 times a day, and you were doing a push at 8 o'clock at night before you went home. But when you came up in the morning, there was a wedge of food that the cows hadn't got, and you pushed it in, and it was gone very quickly, but
it was waste. Yeah.
It was wasting it. You weren't getting, and it was grass, and if you certainly the flexibility that the robots were allowing you, the milking robots, to not be here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The pushing in didn't give you had to be here to push in, because otherwise you'd come back at 6 or 7 in the summertime, and here there's a wedge of grass, and cows are missing out on feed. It's really important to keep the feed at them. The whole thing is obviously, I guess, is that they have it. We find certainly that when we feed in the mornings, I notice when we feed in the morning, the majority of cows that don't get up to feed are actually fresh cows, because they've probably been just to the robot, and they know there's no issue. They know that the cow's gonna stand up there. The cow that's 200 days of milk, she's gonna eat for 20 minutes, but she can go there, and feed will be pushed back to her at 10 o'clock or whenever, and she'll get her whatever.
She's not worried it'll be.
Yeah, she's not worried at all. No. And that tends to be the ones that they're not fighting to get the feed then. So and it obviously keeps the dry cows, which is a bulkier feed, the 3 kilos of straw in there, so no issue with that. It does a lovely tidy job every time.
I think it's just short of $1 million. It's 800 and something.
Yeah, we paid whatever what we ordered, I guess, or what the lining was shaped for. Sold was 7 3/4. 750,000 gallons, but we went deeper. 400 mil or 400. We went from 3.6 to 4 meters deep. So I don't know what that adds. We reckon it's about over 800,000 gallons.
Okay. So how are you agitating that then? Say, how many places can you agitate from?
We do it all around. We've got an agitator on the front boom of the tractor.
Okay.
A source propeller.
Right. Hydraulic.
Yeah.
Of the hydraulic.
Get in from here.
Yeah.
When it's high,
yeah.
Great access around the far side, but it'll even reach from here.
Okay.
It's very effective. I haven't got the whole tank to move, but we've broken it up fairly well. But it's very wet. It's very low dry matter slurry, which makes it expensive to spread, but it's easier to spread.
Yes.
Yeah. But
So
great.
the guys will park over there with their pump, and they'll shoot it around the farm. We put an underground pipe under the road.
The cart system.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's very easy.
Yeah.
Okay. And empty it how many times in a year typically?
After silage usually.
After silage, 3 times. I'd say it'll be 4.
But the tanker, we have a dribble bar for 10 years here, and after every load, no, not every load, but when we finish
After
zero
grazing.
grazing a field, so it's usually the guy will go out on the tanker on a Monday, might be Monday and a Friday, he'll go out and he'll put 10 loads out or something after he's brought in the grass. And you'd see the difference in that watery, what is considered probably by, I don't know, by standards, it's relatively watery, obviously slurry, but we grass measure here, been grass measuring for a couple of years now. And I know there was an example where he did only got half a field done. It was spring and it got wet, so he didn't do the rest of the field. And measuring the grass, there was significant difference in colour in what had got that and what didn't.
Yes.
Like it's really valuable.
Yes.
And it's because of the dribble bar and zero grazing, that'll go out on a field. And if you have optimum grazing or growing conditions, and we have reseeds, which we do around, we'll be back in the field. It could be just after 2 weeks to a lovely 1,500
days.
covers. Cows will never reject it, and it's excellent.
Yeah.
The grass utilisation on the farm is
And you'll be
phenomenal.
paying
We've halved our chemical fertiliser bill because the utilisation of zero grazing, where you're cleaning off the pasture and going out with this watery slurry, that we just bar like sort of maintenance levels of different chemicals. This sustains like most of it.
Okay.
Like a bit of protected urea in the spring and stuff.